they really don't have too much to complete for the 1B channel, they'll spend some of the next procedures not only cleaning up, but getting some of the prep work ready for the 3B channel. That's a new channel on the other side of this Starboard 6 truss. It still has those old nickel hydrogen batteries, so they will get some of the prep work done to remove that. You can see now Doug Hurley and Yvonne Wagner already closing the hatch, tightening it for a nice seal. Again, some of the next procedures will be to depressurize, but not all the way to vacuum. They'll get it down to 5 psi. We still have a clock of about 5 minutes before the teams here conduct a go, no-go poll for that depressurization, making sure everything is set before they hit the button to begin the depressurization sequence. But Hurley and Yvonne Wagner already getting through those procedures, making sure that our spacewalking astronauts get out on time today, just about an hour from now. Now again, what was original...
Steps 72 and 73 are complete.
Houston copies. And Doug, we'll put...
And it looks like you guys have 74 and subsequent until we get ready to start the depress.
Yeah, copy, Doug. We're putting those in work right now.
And that was Doug Hurley aboard the International Space Station, just confirming those steps. As we speak, the flight control teams here in Mission Control Houston conducting a go, no-go poll. A go, no-go poll to make sure that everything is set for that depressurization.
And Airlock Houston on Space to Ground 1, EV crew is hot mic'd.
EV1 copy. EV2 copy.
And Houston copies EV1 and 2, loud and clear. And Airlock Houston on 1, we have just over a minute left on the clock.
And Bob, if you could check the switch depress pump power is off.
Verified off.
And check depress pump enable LED on.
The enable LED is on.
Airlock Houston, you guys are go for depress. The clock has expired. We will hand you over to the capable hands of the Orbit 2 team. You guys have a good day out there.
Thanks, Josh. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
And with that, Doug Hurley will walk our 2 spacewalking astronauts through the depressurization procedures. Josh Matthew, the Capcom of Orbit 1.
Select depress card. Do Bob. On the UIA, switch the depress pump power to on.
Okay, the depress pump power is on.
Okay, there's 10 seconds. Take the depress pump manual isolation valve to open. Expect alert tone.
Depress pump manual isolation valve is open. Got the tone. George as well.
Monitor your suit pressure gauge for less than 5.5.
Copy. Copy.
Doug Hurley inside the equipment lock walking through our 2 spacewalking astronauts today. Chris Cassidy and Bob Benkin. Depressurization is underway, coming down from 14.7 psi, just about to hit 13 already. This depressurization is not the official start of today's spacewalk. That'll be when they switch to battery power.
So in step 3, when the crew lock pressure gets to 6.0, you guys will get an alert tone as well.
Copy. Copy.
Crew lock now at 11 pounds per square inch, heading to 5 pounds per square inch. That is the check mark. The hold at 5 psi for a little bit, just making sure everything is steady, that it's holding pressure. Do a quick leak check before proceeding down to vacuum. Now in another short handover period. Again, we'll encounter a few of these throughout today's spacewalk, handing over the TDRS satellites, tracking and data relay satellites that are in geosynchronous orbit, about 23,000 miles away from Earth, providing video and audio communication from the station. Just handing over as the station flies 17,500 miles per hour around the Earth. Station about to enter into an orbital nighttime. Right now, the South Indian Ocean, about to cross the terminator line and head on a northeasterly track. You can see here on the map just to the east of the eastern coast of Australia into the Pacific Ocean. The sounds you're hearing now is the depressurization from the Quest airlock of the International Space Station. Now less than 10 pounds per square inch, again heading to 5. This is a live view of the International Space Station Flight Control Room. Orbit 2 teams here in the room led by Flight Director Royce Renfrew. The voice of Capcom that you might hear from this room is Canadian Space Agency astronaut and veteran spaceflight veteran expedition crew member of the International Space Station, David St. Jacques. He's the Capcom that you might hear on the inside of the International Space Station. Doug Hurley will be the main voice through some of the depressurization procedures, but the comms will be handed over to the ground IV, Jasmine Mogbelli, here in the room. The ground IV is the voice that you'll hear. It'll be her voice to Cassidy and Bankin throughout the duration of today's spacewalk, communicating the procedures from here in the room up to the crew members conducting today's spacewalk. You see Mogbelli there in the middle console, Royce Renfrew, Flight Director, leading the teams here of Orbit 2. Doug Hurley, flight engineer of Expedition 63 and commander of the SpaceX Demo 2 mission, leading through the procedures of getting our two spacewalking astronauts ready to go out the hatch. Really just a few steps left. The depressurization sequence underway, just less than 8 pounds per square inch at this time. We're heading down to 5. We'll do a quick hold at 5 psi, making sure there are no leaks but in the crew lock before proceeding down the vacuum.
It looks dark down there, where you're at.
Yep, not as dark as it's about to be in a half hour.
Yeah. Okay, we're 3-7.
Chris Cassidy and Bob Bankin on the other side of that hatch right now. The crew lock, where Cassidy and Bankin are situated, and being depressurized at this time. Now less than 7 psi. We're heading down to 5 psi. Again, we'll do a quick hold there before proceeding down to vacuum on the inside of the station, where Doug Hurley and Yvonne Wagner are situated on the equipment lock that's at the pressure of about sea level, 14.7 psi.
There's my tone at 6.
P6 at 5. At 5 psi, we're going to take the depress pump manual isolation valve to close, but that's at 5, and I'll give you a call as well.
Copy.
Okay, Bob, as expected, I'm lagging you by about 0.3.
Copy. 0.1.
Copy, I was just going to call you. You're getting close. Okay, go ahead and take it close.
Closed.
Copy, close. See the pressure stops moving. On the DCMs, go ahead and switch your displays to get leak check question mark display.
Okay, I'm there.
And hit yes, and follow the instructions.
EV1 less than a minute.
EV2 as well.
Leak check complete. EV1 going to O2 actuator to EVA.
Leak check complete for EVA.
Depot, with the check in step 6, we're going to go depress pump manual isolation valve to open. Expect an alert tone.
EV1 in EVA.
EV2 is EVA.
Both, and confirm you got the valve open. We're going to open up our MPES.
Negative. I'll take the depress pump manual isolation valve to open now. Depress pump manual isolation valve is open.
Copy, open. Monitor your suit pressure gauges. We're less than 5.5.
Copy.
You, Bob, we're going down to 2 now, and then closing the isolation valve again.
Copy.
And this is a good time to check your tethers.
Yeah, okay. Don and Doug, on the airlock D-ring, we have a D-ring extender. My anchor hook of my waist tether is closed and locked on the D-ring extender. Look in waist tether, no anomalies, and the through hook side of my waist tether is closed and locked on my right D-ring extender. On my left D-ring extender, I have the red hook closed and locked. Below the lead bearing straps in good condition. The airgun reel is in the unlocked position, and it does in fact retract. And then the yellow hook is temporarily stowed on my mini workstation. I think I'm configured.
Copy, EV1.
Okay, on my left side, I've got a waist tether closed and locked to the airlock D-ring extender. That waist tether is in good condition, and the crew hook is closed and locked onto my D-ring extender. On my left side, I have a safety tether reel crew hook, red hook, closed and locked onto my D-ring extender. I've got a waist tether closed and locked onto that reel. the red reel. And the anchor hook for that red reel is temporarily stowed on my mini workstation. The reel is unlocked and the tether retracts.
I can also see my green camera light. I have to dry my gloves as they fly down there.
Tethers from EV2, copy checks from EV1.
I will, Chris, when we're outside, unless you can see it now, that waist tether looked in good condition as far as I can see it on my right-hand side.
Your right-hand side, got
Yep.
it.
And it should be closed and locked onto my boot, the crew hook side.
So see it closed and locked onto the D-ring itself, and the fabric looking good, no color showing, and the big hook is closed and locked on the reel.
Copy. I also have a green light. I'm up on 2 PSI.
I concur.
Are you ready for depress pump manual isolation valve to close?
Showing a little bit high. Let's give it a second or two.
A quick summary of what's occurred so far. We got down to 5 pounds per square inch. Good leak check. Now proceeding down to 2.
Pump manual isolation valve is closed.
I'll be closed, and on the UIA, take the depress pump power switch to off.
Press pump power is off.
Tethers are all checked. When we get a DP/DT of about 0, expect an alert tone. And Chris, when we get a EV hatch delta P of less than 0.5, you can open the hatch, but it'll be a minute or two at least.
Okay. That'll be all.
So again, good reports from Chris Cassidy and Bob Benkin. On the other side of that hatch, we had a good leak check at 5 pounds per square inch. Everything good to proceed down to vacuum. They had a task at 2 pounds per square inch to turn a pump ISO valve to closed. That is complete, and the crew lock is continuing to depressurize down to about 0.5 psi. From the inside of the equipment log, Doug Hurley, you see in the foreground there, will be monitoring the progress of the depressurization down to 0.5. Taking pictures through the hatchway there is cosmonaut Yvonne Wagner, assisting Hurley with some of the suit-up procedures to get our 2 spacewalking astronauts ready for the day.
It's nice if there's a window in this hatch.
Yes.
This is Mission Control Houston. You will continue to hear Doug Hurley through some of the final procedures to get our spacewalking astronauts outfitted before opening up the hatch. He'll hand over comms very shortly, once we get down to about 0.5 psi, to Ground IV Jasmine Mogbelli here in Mission Control Houston. It'll be her voice that you'll hear throughout the majority of today's spacewalk as Cassidy and Bankin go outside of the hatch to the starboard 6 truss and complete the installation of brand new batteries on the 1B power channel, the 7th of 8 power channels to be upgraded, completed later today once they install the final lithium-ion battery to that power channel. The crew lock continuing to depressurize down to 0.5 psi, a little less than 1.5 psi at this time. The official start time of today's spacewalk will begin. The clock will start once the power of each of the 2 suits, EV1 and EV2, EV1 being Cassidy, EV2 being Bankin, once those suits are switched to battery power. That'll be the official start time of today's spacewalk, and the clock will begin. Now, Hurley's job is not done once he's completed with some of these procedures to get them out the hatch. Afterwards, he'll head over to the International Space Station's U.S. lab. From there, he has controls of the station's robotic arm. It'll be him maneuvering the robotic arm, at the end of which is the external pallet containing the brand new lithium-ion batteries. He'll be moving it just a little bit backwards and forwards as requested by the crew so they can get within reach of all of the batteries that they need to swap. Again, there's only really 2 left. There's the new lithium-ion battery from the pallet that needs to go onto the station, and then they need to swap an old nickel-hydrogen battery with an adapter plate that will officially connect that lithium-ion battery to the station, providing storage of power from the station's solar arrays on the starboard truss. This is Mission Control Houston. Depressurization still underway, proceeding as planned. It takes an estimated 13 minutes to go from 2 psi down to 0.5. Right now we're hanging at about 0.8, proceeding slowly but surely towards that 0.5 mark. Once we get to that point, Hurley from the inside of the equipment lock still monitoring that progress down to 0.5. Very shortly after we get to that milestone, he'll hand over communications to here in Mission Control Houston. Jasmine Mogbelli, the ground IV, it'll be her voice. You hear, and you just heard 0.7 from the crew.
About right, based on our inside readings.
The crew on the other side of the hatch last reported 7 psi. We're still making good progress down to 5 psi. Again, Hurley will hand over communications to Jasmine Mogbelli, who will be the ground IV. It'll be her voice you hear guiding Cassidy and Bankin through the initial procedures, some of the first of which are configuring those tethers once again. You heard some tether readouts earlier when they were situated in the crew lock. Once they get out the hatch, one of the first things they'll do is just make sure those tethers remain in a good configuration. That'll be the primary way that Cassidy and Bankin remain attached to the station as they conduct their procedures today, the first of which is finally upgrading the 1B channel of the Starboard 6 truss, that one lithium-ion battery left, and removing an old nickel-hydrogen battery, replacing that with an adapter plate. Much of the procedures that were originally scheduled for today were accomplished on June 26th during the 6-hour and 7-minute EVA. The two spacewalkers conducted a lot of the procedures that were originally scheduled for today. So after Cassidy and Bankin come, they'll do mostly get-aheads. First outfitting the 3B channel, which will be the next and final channel to be upgraded on the station. And then performing a series of get-aheads like routing some power cables, Ethernet cables, removing an H fixture for some future power system upgrades, and if time permits, removing a lens cover on one of the cameras on the outside of the station. All get-aheads that were scheduled between these two spacewalks, now primary procedures, some things that have been on the to-do list for a while, Cassidy and Bankin will get a chance to tackle today after completing the installation of the final battery on the 1B channel.
Okay, it looks like about that's half. For the hatch, Chunky.
Yeah, bud.
A good read from the crew on the other side of the hatch. Cassidy and Bankin reading a good hold at 5 psi. Now able to open up the hatch. Still waiting for that official start time. That'll be when Cassidy and Bankin switch their suits to battery power.
Okay, so we see it open.
Then at nighttime,
Cassidy reporting an orbital nighttime. The station 260 miles over the Pacific Ocean.
14, and with that, Jaws, if you're ready, we can hand it over to you. Good luck, guys.
good.
Thanks, Doug and Yvonne, once again for setting us up in a timely manner here. Chris and Bob, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, with that, we'll step into post-depress, staggering your switch throws, switch power to bat, expect a warning tone.
Power back.
Power bat.
Both of you check your display switches are functional.
Functional.
Functional for EV2.
Bob, on the UIA, switch power EV1 and 2 to off.
EV1 and 2 power switches are off. LEDs are off.
Copy LEDs. Both of you can disconnect your SCUs from the DCM, install the DCM cover, and stow the SCU in the pouch.
Work. Removed and stowed EV1. DCM cover up.
Removed and stowed DCM cover up for EV2.
Copy. Bob, on the crew lock, check depress pump man ISO valve is closed.
Depress pump man ISO valve is verified closed.
Both of you can take your temperature control valve to max hot.
Max hot EV1.
EV2 is max hot.
You can both switch water to on.
Water on EV1.
Water on EV2.
Check your DCMs are blank and bites are off.
Blank, no bite.
Blank, no bite.
You can both switch your temperature control valves to the desired setting.
And 4 for now, EV1.
Ground IV, Jasmine Mogbelli walking Cassidy and Bankin through the procedures to start today's spacewalk. We do have an official start time. It is 6:13 a.m. Central Time. Cassidy and Bankin switch their suits to battery power. The spacewalk today to complete the 1B channel is officially underway.
Okay, you can both set your visors as required. We're currently in a night pass for the next 10 minutes.
Copy.
Okay, and with that, Chris, we copied your HAP check. You can open the hatch thermal cover and egress the airlock with the ORU bag, which will stow on your BRT. Bob, we did not copy your HAP check.
Thanks, Jaws. My HAP is dry, baseline.
Copy, Bob.
You'll hear HAP check a lot throughout today's spacewalk, as well as glove checks. The HAP is the helmet absorption pad.
Power cable.
Copy.
That they'll do periodic checks to make sure there are no scuffs on their gloves and that their HAPs, their helmet absorption pads, are dry throughout the duration of today's spacewalk. You now see that hatch is open and you're starting to see some light from the inside of the crew lock.
Putting my yellow hook onto...
Cassidy and Bankham will be performing these tether checks. That's all the colors that you'll be hearing. The first one out the hatch today will be Cassidy.
Just make sure you get a good inspection of the load alleviating strap.
Copy and work.
Station in an orbital nighttime, 259 statute miles over the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, Jaws. I've got the power cable.
All right, my yellow anchor hook is closed and locked.
Copy.
The green Ercam reel. The green Ercam reel is in unlocked. And the load alleviating strap's in good config. No color showing.
Copy, Chris. You can tether to and attach the aft safety tether green hook to your red reel.
Green hook to red reel. Copy that.
And Bob, when you're ready, we'll take an inspection on your safety tether load alleviating strap on the forward D-ring.
The waist tether on the forward is in good condition. BB2.
Copy, Bob. Bob, you can attach your yellow hook to the safety tether reel on the forward external D-ring.
Josh,
The camera position being situated towards the work site. You can see some of the light reflecting off of the Canadarm2, at the end of which is the external pallet. That pallet contains that final lithium-ion battery.
The reel is unlocked.
reel was unlocked. Yep.
Okay, good config, Chris.
My yellow hook is closed and locked onto my reel that's here as well. So the one on the forward D-ring in the airlock.
Copy, Bob. With that, you can tether to and attach the forward safety tether green hook to your red reel. And Chris, you can release your waist tether from the airlock D-ring extender.
Okay, copy that. While all that's at work, I can see Bob has 3 mini workstation tabs up, and both of his paper handles are down. Been good, Bob.
Thank you.
Copy.
Cassidy and Bankin just reporting their tether configuration, making sure their reels and everything are aligned as expected, as well as the SAFER, the simplified aid for EVA rescue, that can be used if they were to become untethered.
That green hook.
Yeah, let me get out of your way.
Because I have the green hook closed and locked onto my red reel.
Copy. And Bob, is that reel unlocked?
Both reels are unlocked.
Okay, Bob, you can release your waist tether from the airlock D-ring extender, and once you're both released, you can close the hatch thermal cover.
Copy that. reach it, Bob? You want me to get it?
I can reach it. It's a little bit tricky because the rat is retracting it.
Oh, yeah. We're cover closed.
Copy, thermal covers closed, and we copied, Chris, your checks on Bob. Bob will need buddy checks on Chris.
It looks like your left safer handle is down. I can see all three tabs are up, and your PGT is kind of blocking me. And I can verify your right safer handle is down.
Copy, thank you.
Others look to be in a good config.
Copy, good checks on both of you. Bob, you'll be leading out. You'll head to the port CETA cart to stow that S3 power cable. And Chris, you'll trail. You'll both be releasing your fair leads on the way up the CETA spur, leaving the adjustable tether there.
Okay, copy all.
And I have two cautions for both of you. Avoid contact with deployed TUS cable, Zenith, and Nader CETA rails. On S6, avoid contact with radiator. How copy?
Give you one copy.
Hey, Chris, I'm just going to pause here. You have a look at me. My safety tether reel may be behind me.
It's going around your hip. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the, if you go to, when you get to the CETA spur, just open your right hip towards it.
Okay.
So.
Cassidy and Benkin continuing to perform buddy checks, making sure that they are set to begin today's spacewalk. In the meantime, from the inside of the International Space Station, Doug Hurley at the controls of the station's robotic arm. From the view on the outside, you might be able to see it move a little bit. He's just configuring, making sure that that's all set for when Cassidy and Benkin arrive. Hurley's talking with David St. Jacques, the Capcom here in Mission Control Houston, speaking with Hurley on the inside as Jasmine Mogbelli, the ground IV, speaks with Cassidy and Benkin, about to head out the hatch and begin today's spacewalk heading towards the starboard 6 truss.
Air lead on handrail 3410.
Copy, Bob.
That's complete.
It looks good.
Thank you.
Doug Hurley maneuvering the Canadarm2 as we speak from the inside. We're starting to get a little bit of sunlight as the space station flies into an orbital daytime over the Pacific Ocean just west off the coast of California.
Copy that.
Copy.
The sun. Here comes the sun, yeah. My air lead point, and I am releasing
Copy that, Chris.
fair lead.
And Chris, after that, you'll head all the way out to the anchor hooks below the outboard CETA cart.
Okay, copy. Anchor hooks.
I've arrived at the key to cart.
Copy, Bob.
Some great views of the astronauts making their way out to the work site. We just had an orbital sunrise. The station just off the coast of Oregon right now, about to pass over the western United States. Over at the far side, closest to the starboard 6 truss, is Bob Benkin. Coming up on the rear here is EV1 Chris Cassidy.
And we have a handover in 10 seconds.
And there's the handover that was mentioned by Mogbelli here in Mission Control Houston. This is some of the video and audio we're getting from station being relayed through geosynchronous satellites. A short handover of video and audio will be regaining those shortly. In the meantime, we're already ahead of schedule. Originally scheduled for an EVA start time at 6:35 a.m. Central, beginning at 6:13 a.m. Central as the official start time. Just a little over 16 minutes into today's spacewalk, Cassidy and Benkin already making their way out to the work site. Teams in the International Space Station Flight Control Room would lead today's tasks, the first of which are the installation of the final battery. Here's the situation as of now from the last spacewalk last week. The nickel hydrogen battery from slot 6 was moved over to slot 4, giving slot 6 an open position. The first task will be moving a lithium-ion battery into slot 6. That's on the slot 6 is on the station side. Over on the left, that's the external pallet. And then, of course, it needs an adapter plate, so they'll swap the adapter plate with a nickel hydrogen battery, putting that nickel hydrogen on the external pallet for disposal.
And Bob will have you check your gauntlets and hold for a second prior to crossing the Sarge. Want to make sure the arm's in position. Okay, Bob, the arm is in position, so you can give us a gauntlet check and continue. You'll be going all the way outboard to drop off your green hook at handrail 2076.
I have a good gauntlets on the left and the right.
Copy, Bob. And Chris, once you get to the anchor hooks, we'll have you check both of those.
Okay, copy.
Starting to get some helmet camera views. You'll see these pop up throughout today's spacewalk. You're seeing the helmet cam designation from Chris Cassidy. There's a translucent number on the bottom right of your screen, 18. He'll be helmet camera number 18. Bob Benkin will be number 20.
Looking at Bob's anchor on 3060. The big hook is closed and locked. Looks good. And I'm looking at mine.
Copy, Bob.
3061. My anchor point on 3061 is also closed and locked. Good config.
Copy, Chris. Thanks. We'll take gauntlet checks, and then you'll proceed outboard to your green hook location at handrail 2004.
2004, both left and right gauntlets are place.
Copy, and I have a couple warnings and cautions for both of you when you're ready to copy.
That's good for me. How about you?
That was good for me as well. I was just double checking that the arm is in a good configuration for me to continue.
Hey, firm, it's in a good config and brakes are on. You are good to continue.
Copy.
Okay, warnings. EP wheels are no touch for pinch points. EP PVGF grapple shafts and curvet coupling teeth are no touch. Cautions, translate only on handrails. Do not impart loads into any ORU on the external pallet. No sudden movements on the EP. Maintain less than 0.45 feet per second translation speed. Wait until pallet motion dampens out before imparting any loads. How copy?
BV1 copies.
BV2 copies.
And I'm outboarding the Sarge.
Copy.
Doug, check. Robo, Doug.
Unclear, Chris. How many?
Okay, loud and clear. I'm just a minute or two from up on the pallet.
Okay, we're ready to go. And as of now, the brakes are on, and you're clear to maneuver. And then just let me know as we get down the road if you need anything tweaked with the position.
Okay, copy. All right, I am at my anchor point position, Josh.
Copy, Chris. You can drop your green hook on handrail 2004.
Green hook 2004.
Not my green hook location as well.
Copy, Bob. You can drop your green hook on handrail 2076.
Copy, green hook to 2076.
Chris Cassidy pictured in the foreground there. You can identify him in the suit with the red stripes. There, the far end of the station is Bob Benkin, both working on the first tasks.
Green hook is on 2004, 0301.
Copy, Chris. Bob, you can head to the crew lock bag to configure your PGT with the hex driver from the pit pin RET. And Chris, you are go to translate onto the EP. You'll be stowing the ORU bag on the handrails between batteries Bravo and Delta. Let me know when you're ready for the numbers.
All right, I'm looking at the APFR since it's right here. 6, Golf, Fox 12. And it passed.
Good settings, Chris.
Solid, good wiggle check. Black on black. Okay, Doug, I'm coming onto the pallet.
Copy, you're clear. Brakes are on.
Copy that.
So that read out to Benkin was for Benkin to configure his space drill, the PGT. He'll get that ready as Cassidy prepares to, he's already on actually, the external pallet. That pallet contains that new battery. That'll be the first task of the day, getting the new lithium-ion battery from the pallet over to the station's truss.
307. And then you'll tend the PGT and ratchet to the outside of the bag, leaving them on the RET series.
Okay, copy all. That's in works.
From the helmet camera of Chris Cassidy, his first task, stowing that bag, that tool bag, onto the external pallet.
Okay, Jazz, I've got the crew lock bag reconfigured. I collected the adjustable tether, small. That was left out here to make sure it's stowed flat the outside of the crew lock bag. And the crew lock bag is also got its large, small, adjustable, in addition to integral tether attached between 2049 and 2054.
Copy, Bob. And with that, you can configure your PGT with the hex driver from the pit pin RET and attach that PGT to the crew lock bag with the RET, and the adjustable end of it will go to the DCSU H2 scoop.
Copy.
Okay, Jaws, I've got both cameras on me. Working on the PGT.
Copy, Chris.
And Jaws, I've got the 9-inch X head attached to the PGT. Tug test.
Copy, Bob. And that PGT will attach to the crew lock bag with the RET.
That's complete.
Copy. And the other end of that, the adjustable equipment tether will go to DCSU H2 scoop.
I need to get anything else out of the crew lock bag at this time?
Just a ratchet wrench.
Okay, the bag is reclosed.
Copy.
Okay, I think I'm ready to get off the pallet. Jasmine, if you agree.
Yeah, Chris, we'll just take a glove, hat, and gauntlet check from you, and then you're go.
Okay. Gloves are same as egress. Reconfig. Gauntlets. Place.
Copy. Chris, good checks. And on Doug's go, you can ingress the EP APFR, and I have some cautions for you when ready, for both of you.
And just to verify, the BGT adjustable goes to H2 on the DCSU, correct?
That's correct, Bob.
Bob, how's this timing working out? You want me to come over there for anything?
I think I'm just about complete. I'm going to the APFR next, I believe. Check its settings.
That's correct, Bob. You'll check the settings, and we'll have you roll, complete a roll as well to Delta. And I have some cautions for the external pallet when you're both ready.
I'm ready.
Once torque is broken on an H-bolt, do not impart loads into the corresponding microsquare. Avoid translation and BRT loads into a scoop on the H2 microsquare for lithium-ion batteries installed with bracket interference. That'll apply to slot 6. When braking torque on external pallet, apply less than 55 pounds force and do not exceed 20 pounds force during ORU soft dock. Engage, disengage with the external pallet. How copy?
Copy all, EV1.
Copy all, EV2.
So with that read of cautions from Jasmine Mo Belly here in Mission Control Houston, the worksite preparations is complete. You can see Cassidy and Bankin preparing their worksite, their foot restraints, their cordless power drills, all of their tool bags in place, ready to go. That first task now about to be underway. It'll be taking a new lithium-ion battery from the pallet that was referenced by Mogbelly over to the integrated electronics assembly of the International Space Station, the final lithium-ion battery to be installed onto this power channel.
When I've completed the roll to Delta.
Copy. So final settings, Bob, should be 12, Quebec, Quebec, Delta 12.
Okay, 12, Quebec, Quebec, Delta 12 is set.
Okay, Bob, we'll take a glove, hap, and gauntlet check, and then you can start heading towards the EP.
Okay. My hap is still baseline. Both of my gauntlets are up. My left glove is in condition I left the airlock with. And the right glove is also in pristine condition except for some additional smudging. I think the smudging is coming from the black stripe on the bumpers is my best guess. Bumpers with the alignment stripe.
Copy on the smudging, Bob. Okay, and you can translate towards the EP.
Copy.
So that final readout was the settings of the foot restraint over at the integrated electronics assembly. That foot restraint will be used once the lithium-ion battery is removed from the pallet. The next objective here, the next work site where Cassidy and Benkin will both be. Bob Benkin now heading over to that work site. The foot restraint over at the electronics assembly that Benkin was just checking in a good configuration for when it's ready to fall onto the truss.
Your way, Doug.
Chris.
Still camera still in the bag.
It's on my right swing arm.
Oh, copy.
You want it? No, I was just figuring we'd get it.
You got it.
Situated.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll get it situated after we get over there.
Chris, you've got to be aware of on your right foot. Your safety tether's making a full loop.
Can you just undo it? I'll stick my leg, present my leg to you.
Yeah.
That'll be the easiest way. Can you reach, or do I need to come down?
Chris Cassidy in the suit with the red stripes, ingressing or entering the portable foot restraint. That gets him in a good position right in front of the battery that he needs to remove from the pallet that's right in front of him. Marked with HTV9, you see there at the top of your screen. That pallet being delivered on the H2 transfer vehicle.
Okay, thank you. Am I,
You're good.
my feet clear?
Yep.
Copy that. I just adjusted my cooling to 6 if ground folks are keeping score.
Copy TCV of 6, Chris.
All right, my heels feel in and secure.
Okay, Chris, with that, make sure the ingress aid is tucked in, your tethers are clear, and we'll take a serial number on that battery.
0026. This is serial number. Others look clear. Ingress aid is tucked in.
Copy, good serial number and checks. You can attach a ret to the battery H1 scoop and then get the PGT out.
Copy that. Which one is fitted?
Copy.
GT coming out.
Settings are Alpha 7, counter 2.
Past, counterclockwise to Alpha 7, second motor, Alpha 7, counterclockwise to ready to drive.
Okay, you're going to H2. You'll confirm the socket tape line flush and release H2 approximately 19 turns.
Okay, copy that. Driving.
Cassidy now using that cordless power drill, the PGT pistol grip tool, undoing one of the bolts containing the lithium-ion battery, the new lithium-ion battery, from the proper slot on the external pallet. He'll be removing that and handing it off to Benkin, who's situated on the truss segment of the International Space Station. He attached something called a scoop. This is simply a handling aid. Once the battery is removed, he can easily maneuver the battery that exceeds 400 pounds over to Benkin, who is situated again on the truss.
Indicators in unlocked.
Copy. You can stow the PGT back on your swing arm and remove the battery when ready.
Copy that. All set, Bob?
I am all set.
GT stowed. Hands on the battery.
Copy. And as you hand this off to Bob, you're looking to hand him the H2 scoop with a red swap.
Copy H2. Now, rotating, Bob. Back.
H2 refers to a specific bolt on the lithium-ion battery, so Benkin knows which end to refer to as a retractable equipment tether, just making sure that the battery is secured at all times.
I've got the battery.
You've got the battery. I'm reaching my right. A funny ret angle. Okay, ret's off.
I've got the battery. And I'm ready to start, of course.
Okay, coming out. Remind me with that safety tether stuff, is mine going in front of the APFR or behind?
Your safety tether is going in front
Okay.
of the APFR right now.
Copy, thanks.
So you may have to
I might have to do
pass it over the top.
over. Yeah. You're right up on top of your anchor point. It's difficult sometimes to.
Yeah, it's almost like that. Should be one handrail
Yeah,
further.
should be one handrail over. All right. organized here.
Chris, you can move that green hook if you'd like.
In spots. You know what? I'm gonna do that. Have you got a second?
I do, yep.
Cassidy now out of the foot restraint. He'll reconfigure his tethers here, making sure they're both in a good position. Benkin and Cassidy will guide the lithium-ion battery over to its new home on the integrated electronics assembly of the starboard truss. There's a new foot restraint over there waiting for them, configured to the proper settings. And from there, they'll be able to get into a position where the new battery can be installed on the truss.
Ready? I have control.
And I'm going to need a minute to clear up my BRT and
No problem.
You have control of the battery?
I do. I'm in a good spot.
I have the battery.
You have the battery.
A little bit tricky to get past the pallet here.
Yeah, just kind of keeping it on that side.
Yeah.
I have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery.
Communication is the key here, as Cassidy and Benkin work together to move the more than 400-pound battery over to the integrated electronics assembly. From here, it'll be installed to store power from the station's solar arrays. Bob Benkin will be the one to ingress or enter the foot restraint, get into position, and he'll grab the cordless power drill and secure it to the integrated electronics assembly.
This stumpy one is... Okay, I have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery. Did you make it all the way to the T intersection?
I did.
You have control of the battery.
Okay, you have control of the battery.
You see the fins in the blind mates?
Yep.
You want to just knock that out right now?
You can, pins look straight, blind mates look clarified, good EMI band.
Copy.
Copy the checks on the battery.
You want to get in?
I think you probably need to get a
All right,
little
closer. Yeah, I'll go to the 32.
Yeah, sounds good. I've got the battery.
You've got the battery. see. Think I can keep, should I put my anchor hand on this one there as well, you think? Or is that going to scrunch you up too much?
I think it's going to scrunch us up too much.
I think so too. All right. I have control of the battery.
Okay, can you get a tether on it?
I sure can, and you've got control back?
I've got control.
Tether in place.
Okay. You have control. I'm going to release my tether.
Copy that.
Okay, Bob, before you get an APFR, if you can just make sure the gap spanner is clear of slot 6 for the install.
The gap spanner is clear of slot 6.
Copy.
On the right.
And on the left. Good.
Okay, Bob, if you can check the ingress aids tucked and tethers are clear, we'll take an inspection on the IA bolt interfaces and blind mate connectors.
Okay. On the IEA side, the ingress aid is tucked. You can verify the pins are clear. There's no fog. Good EMI band, and the pins look straight and clear as well.
Copy. With that, when you're ready, Chris, you can transfer the battery to Bob, looking for H2 outboard.
Okay, copy. I'm ready for the battery, Chris.
Okay. Control when you're ready.
I got control of the battery.
You have control. I have the rec.
You lock your red out a little bit.
Okay, once it's soft dock, Chris, you can transfer your PGT with the 6-inch.
And Jaws, in order to accomplish this driving of H2, I'm going to roll back to my left a click or so.
Copy, Bob.
I've got the PGT.
You got it.
Settings are Alpha 7, clockwise 2.
Alpha 7, clockwise 2. Ready to drive volts, how many turns?
Okay, you'll confirm socket tape lines flush to H2, looking for 16 to 17 turns.
Line is flush, 16 to 17 turns, copy. Indicator's moving. The battery's driving to me, huh, Chris?
Yep, absolutely. Looking nice and smooth.
Green light, 9.4, 16 turns.
Copy, and status indicator?
Status indicator is locked.
Copy, same settings, Alpha 7, clockwise 2. You'll confirm socket tape lines flush to H1, looking for 4 to 5.5 turns.
Okay, and we're going to have Chris drive H1.
4 to 5.5 turns.
Tape lines flush.
Okay, feels in there. Confirmed. You got it. And here we go.
Indicator's moving.
Lithium-ion battery secured by one bolt to the integrated electronics assembly. Cassidy taking control of the cordless power drill to secure that final bolt.
9.2 foot-pounds.
Indicator shows locked.
Copy, and Chris, you can stow that PGT back on your swing arm, and Bob, you can release the ret.
Okay, Chris has the ret.
Is that scoop going anywhere?
I think just to clean up.
I'll move it up to the bag. No sense in having a red on it. And
Yeah, Chris, if you're asking about the scoop, it just goes back to the bags for setup for 3 Bravo.
okay. Yeah.
And I will egress and start working on moving the APFR.
Copy, and before that, we'll take a glove, hap, and gauntlet check from both of you.
Dry gauntlets in place and gloves. I'm going to leave you one.
My hap is dry, my gauntlets are up, and no change for my gloves.
Copy, Bob. And as you said, you'll be moving that APFR over to width 18. Clocking is 12.
And let's see, should I go up the side here or go around? I think you can just go right up the side.
Hand over in 2 seconds.
Less than an hour into today's spacewalk, and the lithium-ion battery has been installed onto the integrated electronics assembly. Leading the teams here in Mission Control Houston, Flight Director Royce Renfrew, you see at the forward end of your screen. The voice you're hearing from Mission Control to Chris Cassidy and Bob Bankin, our 2 spacewalkers today. Jasmine Mogbelli, call sign Jaws, off to the left of your screen there. Jackie Kagi in the back, the spacewalk officer, leading the teams here through the procedures and working with her teams in the back rooms as we are already a little bit ahead of the timeline. Got out the door a little bit earlier than expected today. And Cassidy and Bankin looking good on consumables aspect as well. Their next task will be the swap of an old nickel hydrogen battery that is on the integrated electronics, final adapter plate that's on the pallet. That adapter plate is needed for the final configuration of the lithium-ion battery that they just installed.
Limiting consumable is Medox on Chris at 6:40. You're approximately 10 minutes ahead on the timeline, and just for your essay, both your met rigs are looking really good today.
Okay, copy. And the scoop I had is now in the TrueLock bag.
Copy. And that was the H1 scoop, correct, on battery 6?
And read it to
The inboard one, which H1, yes.
I agree, H1.
Copy.
I'm read it to the APFR, Jasmine.
Okay, copy, Bob. And clocking of 12 and with 18.
Copy, clocking of 12 and with 18. Okay, clocking of 12 is set. Twist test, good pull test on the APFR. Quebec is set on the pitch. And the pitch knob is popped out.
Copy. Remaining settings are Fox 12.
Copy. Okay, Foxtrot 12 is set.
Copy, Foxtrot 12. And Bob, can you just... Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Bob, can you confirm the locking collars block on block?
Sorry to interrupt.
That's block on block.
Copy, and copy that, Chris. Okay, Bob, with that, you can check the gap spanners clear of the battery and ingress to APFR. And Chris, you can retrieve the ratchet wrench and position yourself on the radiator inboard corner, and over to you if you want to go outboard and up and over, or just straight up on the inboard side.
I'm going to pause here, Chris, and wait for you to go where you're going to go, just so that I don't trap your safety tether underneath me.
Yeah, I think I need to be around.
I can pause here if you want to ratchet wrench those free.
Yeah, let me do that. All right, I'm on H1, Jasmine, with the ratchet wrench.
Copy. If you can get, can you read the serial number?
Can Bob get that?
Yep, A-firm.
I'll get it when I break H2.
Okay, and for H1, confirm socket tape line flush and brake torque less than 1 turn.
Socket tape line flush.
Cassidy and Bankin setting up to remove an old nickel hydrogen battery from the station's truss. You see from the helmet camera view of Cassidy here, he's breaking torque on those bolts.
And Chris, are you also in a position for H2, or is Bob going to get that?
I am. I'm just going to put it back. Okay. Wasn't sure if I slipped off the bolt, but it was actually the torque braking, not the bolt slipping. H1. Okay, moving to H2. Serial number is 0089.
Copy, good serial number.
Again, 2 bolts securing the nickel hydrogen battery to the station's truss. One torque is broken, heading over to the other bolt to break that torque. It'll be Bob Bankin entering the portable foot restraint, getting into a good angle to use the cordless power drill, the PGT, to remove the old nickel hydrogen battery from the station's truss. They'll then guide it back over to the pallet for disposal and to swap it with the position of an adapter plate that they'll bring into this slot.
PGT for Bob.
Okay, Bob, I'm going to go. Okay. Go forward. If I'm going to not forget my waist tether.
That's kind of self-teaching. Obviously.
Okay, feet coming first, Bob. Let me know if
you're clear.
Yeah.
Watch yourself. You've got the ingress aid to your BRT. Yeah.
You go. Okay. Go. I have bumped the pedal.
The pedals are good. I was holding it.
Okay. Okay. 1. Okay, outboard of your feet, you can go ahead and get in.
As Benkin and Cassidy get into position to remove this nickel hydrogen battery, the station is flying 270 statute miles over the South Indian Ocean, entering into an orbital nighttime. You'll start to see the views from their helmet cameras get just a little bit darker.
What do you think with those guys? CDUs.
Have a look at my lean back. I think it's doable.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to come up high.
Yeah, I'll scoot up.
And Bob, once you're in, if you could check your ingress aids tucked, tethers are clear, and then you'll attach a RET to the H1 scoop.
Copy. Ingress aid is tucked. I've got a RET to the H1 scoop.
Copy. And PGT settings are Alpha 7, counter 2.
Alpha 7, counter 2.
You'll be going to H1, confirm socket tape lines flush, looking for 8 turns to release the battery.
The H1 for 8 turns.
Looks flush.
Here we go. Indicator's moving. There's 8 turns. The indicator indicates unlocked.
Copy. Same settings, Alpha 7, counter 2 for H2. Confirm the socket tape lines flush, looking for 19 turns.
The socket tape line is flush. Understand 19 turns.
A-firm.
Battery's moving.
I agree.
Indicator's moving.
It's coming out nicely.
Okay. Released.
You hold the battery, I'll get the PGT.
Okay, you got the PGT.
Yeah. like 3 hops of the bolt.
Yep.
It's kind of standard.
And
So
Bob,
GGT is stored. I'm going to go back around.
copy. Bob, could you say the turns on that?
It was about 8. I just turned it to the full 17 turns, and it clicked about 3 times.
Copy.
You know, the indicator, I could feel it.
And you are about to go into a night pass for your essay.
That's in your feet.
As the station moves into an orbital nighttime, that nickel hydrogen battery is removed.
Hand off H2 to Chris, and we've got a handover in about 30 seconds.
Okay, Bob, I'm in position.
Copy.
Do a complete flip. Nice work. A little bit.
Now in another handover, again, we will periodically lose video and audio from station incrementally throughout today's spacewalk as the station orbits the Earth at 17,500 miles per hour. We're handing off to the geosynchronous satellites that are stationed around the Earth at 23,000 miles away. Jasmine Mogbelli on the left here, call sign Jaws. You're hearing her voice to Chris Cassidy and Bob Benkin. Now outside the space station with the nickel hydrogen battery removed, the final nickel hydrogen battery to be removed from the station's truss.
On the other side. There we go.
Okay, I have control of the battery.
I have control back, and I'm in a good spot below your feet now.
Okay.
They're handing the battery off to one another. We'll gently guide it over to the external pallet. There, they'll perform a swap. There's an adapter plate in a slot. They'll swap the adapter plate with the nickel hydrogen battery, install the nickel hydrogen battery to the external pallet for disposal, and bring the adapter plate to where the nickel hydrogen battery once was. That adapter plate completes the configuration of the lithium-ion battery to the station's truss.
You might actually go outboard a little bit.
And that will be the final task for the battery swaps, and will complete the 1B channel.
Oh, okay.
Right, when I think I had you lock out your rat, you could unlock it if you want, but I've got control of the battery.
You have control. I'm in a good spot. If you want to go, I have control in the red. You want to go all the way to the rail?
Okay, you have control. I'll go all the way to the rail.
Board one more handrail.
I have control of the battery.
Okay, you have control of the battery. I have control of the battery.
Okay, you have control of the battery. have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery. I have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery. Hard to find something good to hold on to there.
Yeah, weird spot.
I have control of the battery.
You have control. I have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery. I have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery. I have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery.
Can you reach without any hassle to flip the GoPro and point it towards the pallet, or no?
No.
Only if it's easy.
A little bit of a move, but
There you go.
I have control of the battery.
Right? You have control of the battery. I have control of the battery.
Okay, you have control of the battery.
The pallet pretty close.
I have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery. I just passed your BRT spot. You want to leave it up here towards the MLI?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is that
Yeah, I agree. All right, let me get my hand. Good spot. Okay, I have control of the battery.
you have control of the battery?
That MLI multi-layer insulation, Cassidy and Bankin just working on maneuvering the battery, and communication is key here, especially in an orbital nighttime as they guide it to its new home on the external pallet for disposal.
I've got control of the battery.
All right, your ret time.
Yep.
Still have control.
Okay, I have a ret, and I have control.
Okay.
And Chris, you are go to ingress the APFR.
Copy. Go to ingress the APFR. About here I go.
Okay.
And Chris, for this one, once you're in, check access to tools in addition to the ingress aid tucked and tethers clear.
Access to tools in addition to the ingress aid. Copy that. Okay. Fuel spill in, ingress aid is tucked. I can get the tools.
Okay, copy, Chris. With that, once you're ready, Bob, you'll be handing H2 off to Chris, and Chris, you're going to want your BRT ret on the battery tether point.
Copy. I just can't reach the battery tether point. I'll fix it later. I am ready, Bob.
Okay.
I have control.
Okay, you have control of the battery. I'll release my ret. My ret has been released.
Okay, copy that.
And Chris, you'll want H2 scoop in your BRT.
Okay. Okay, the ret config is, as you suggested, BRT ret on the middle.
Copy.
BRT tabs are out.
Copy. Once you've got that stowed out of the way, you'll attach a ret to the adapter plate heater mat tether point.
Ready?
Copy. You can retrieve the ratchet wrench with the hex driver, and you'll be going to H1 first.
Ratchet hex H1.
You're looking for a one-line flush.
One line is flush.
Okay, you can break torque.
It's broken.
Copy. H2, same thing. Confirm one-line flush.
One line flush, torque broken.
Copy. You can send the ratchet wrench back to the ORU bag and then retrieve the PGT with the hex driver.
T with the hex driver.
Okay, settings are alpha 7, counter 2.
Alpha 7, counterclockwise 2 is set. Motor.
Copy. You'll be going to H1, confirm one line flush, looking to release approximately 8 turns.
One line flush. 8 turns. Here we go.
For those just tuning in, Chris Cassidy is in the portable foot restraint right in front of the adapter plate. He's broken torque on that adapter plate and now unbolting it from the external pallet. Bob Benkin is standing by with the old nickel hydrogen battery that's going to take its place in that same slot. First, they need to remove this adapter plate, though. Cassidy working on the first of 2 bolts.
Counter 2 for H2, looking for 1 line flush again.
Alpha 7, counter 2. 1 line is flush.
Looking to release approximately 19 turns.
Copy 19. 4 for 19. Eighteen. 19 turns. It's definitely 3.
Okay,
Ready?
you can power that PGT off to the left and then send it back to the ORU bag.
GT is off. Send it back. Comes the Nerf football.
Copy, and as you hand this off, Bob, you're going to put your BRT ret to the adapter plate handrail tether point.
I can't see, Bob, if I've got the right side. I think it's the right side.
Yep, I've got the correct side now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a ret to it. And I've got it on my BRT.
Okay. Agree with my ret coming off?
I agree with your ret coming off.
It's all yours.
Okay.
Okay, Bob, once you've got that stowed on your BRT, you can head back towards the IEA. Chris, for you, make sure your ingress aid's tucked, and then you can retrieve that battery from your BRT. You want H2 in your left hand.
Ingress aid tucked. H2 left hand. Copy that.
This is Mission Control Houston. For those just tuning in, Cassidy and Benkin have successfully performed the swap. The old nickel hydrogen battery is in the hands of Chris Cassidy, now working to install it onto the external pallet for disposal. In the meantime, Bob Benkin has the adapter plate. He's going to attach it to his body restraint tether and guide it over to the integrated electronics assembly. The installation of that adapter plate will be the final step here for the upgrades to the 1B channel.
7 clockwise 2.
In the meantime, Cassidy working on that pistol grip tool, the cordless power drill, bolting that old nickel hydrogen into place.
Line flush, looking for 16 to 17 turns.
Copy that. Socket tape line flush. Everything looks lined up. Driving. Indicators moving. 2 turns for 19. Fixed. Indicator moving. Battery going in. Everything feels smooth. Very low running torque.
Copy.
10 turns. Sixteen and a half turns, 9.1 foot-pounds. The indicator is all the way in the lock position. The battery hooks in.
Copy, and green light.
Green torquing light, sorry about that.
Okay, Chris, with that, you can release the RET and stow that PGT back on your swing arm, and you'll retrieve the scoops and stow them on your mini workstation.
We have a good installation of that nickel hydrogen battery to the external pallet. Cassidy now removing those scoops, those handling aids. He'll take care of those as Bob Benkin continues to make his way with the adapter plate towards the integrated electronics assembly for its installation onto the truss.
APFR.
Copy.
And Cassidy working on those steps to clean up his work site over at the external pallet.
Yeah, gap spanner is cleared of the slot 5.
Copy.
And I will have access to the PGT.
Okay, with that, you can ingress the APFR, check the ingress aids tucked and tethers are clear, and then we'll take an inspection of the IAA bolt interfaces and blind mate connectors.
Copy.
I have both scoops, and I'm ready to translate battery echo, I believe.
That's correct, battery echo. And Chris, both of those are going to go at the 3 o'clock, which is handrails away from the EP wheels.
From the EP wheels, okay. I'm on the pallet.
Copy.
You're clear, brakes are on.
Yep. Copy.
Okay, guys, on the pallet side, looks like a good EMI band and no thought in the connectors. I will have to retrieve the adapter plate and then give you an inspection of that.
Good words, Bob.
And on the adapter plate, good EMI band pins are clear on the pallet side.
Copy, Bob. And do you want the adapter plate blind mate connectors oriented station outboard, and then you can soft dock?
Outboard.
H1 and H2 are installed. Lifted away from the EP wheels, 3 o'clock.
Copy, Chris. With that, you can head to the ORU bag and stow the PGT and ratchet wrench in there, and you're going to be taking it with you onto structure.
Roger.
This is a view from the helmet camera of Chris Cassidy continuing to clean up his work site over at the external pallet. He just finished up the installation of the old nickel hydrogen battery. One more step to complete. That's over at Bob Benkin's workstation.
For the PGT with hex driver, settings are Alpha 7, clockwise 2.
Copy, Alpha 7, clockwise 2. The adapter plate is soft docked.
Copy. And with that, you'll be going to H2, confirm one line flush.
Bengen already on that last step. You heard that confirmation that the adapter plate is soft docked. Now he just needs to install it using that cordless power drill. There's 2 bolts to secure it to the truss. He'll do 1 bolt at a time here.
Okay, both ratchet and PGT are in the bag.
Okay. One line flush on H2.
Copy, Chris. And Bob, you're looking for 16 to 17 turns.
Copy, 16 to 17 turns.
Chris, for you, you'll take that bag with you onto structure.
Roger. The bag is structure. Everything, even another once over. Nothing remaining, no scoops, except for the ones on E that are supposed to be there.
Copy.
Coming out. You can
16 turns, 9.5 on the torque and a green light.
Copy, Bob. That you get same settings, Alpha 7, clockwise 2 for H1.
Copy.
And for H1, looking for 2 lines visible, one of them flush.
2 lines visible, one of them flush. And say again the number of turns.
4.5 to 5.5.
Copy.
Okay, Jasmine, I'm ready to drop the bag.
Okay, Chris, you're looking to stow that. Recommend handrail 2003 or given location, and you'll also make sure the ingress aid is stowed towards the boot plate and for the EP translation.
Okay, copy all. It's all in work.
H1 was 4.5 turns, 9.0 and a green light.
Copies, Bob. Good install. You can release the RET, egress the APFR, and tend that PGT back towards the crew lock bag, and then we'll be working TA clamps.
And with that, Benkin successfully installed the adapter plate to the truss segment.
Is on 2003.
Copy, Chris.
Cassidy's just working on stowing some of his equipment over on the external pallet. Benkin's next task is to use some connectors to make sure everything is power is connected, and then lithium-ion battery, and get that new lithium-ion battery configured to start storing power from the station solar arrays on the starboard truss.
Get out of the way for Doug.
Chris, you can once you've got the ingress aid stowed and your tethers are clear and you're 5 feet clear, I'd head back towards the IEA to take closeout photos. And you can, once you're 5 feet clear, give Doug the go to the back off position.
All right. Copy. Ingress aid is against the boot plate and in the shortest position. I don't know what you call it. Retracted.
Copy.
Okay, Colonel Hurley, I am 5 feet away, more than that. APFR is clear, tethers are clear, we're clear. You have a go to move.
Copy, Captain Cassidy. We'll move the EP to the side 2 back off position.
That's your feet, Bob.
Yeah, my feet, copy.
And Chris, sounds like you're back at the IA. We'll take a glove, hap, and gauntlet check.
Out dry. Gauntlets in place, gloves good.
Copy, Chris. And Chris, you can either help Bob with the TA clamps and adapter plate connectors, and then after that we're going to be working on closeout photos.
Closeout photos. Copy that. I'll make my way to the camera, Bob. Copy. Now, Jasmine, which free battery, the entire face of the IEA, is that the general concept for the pictures?
The entire face, Chris.
Yep, copy. Much longer till daylight, Jasmine?
Approximately 3.5 minutes till daylight.
Maybe I'll hold off on the pictures for...
Yeah, Chris, if you actually, if that PGT with the hex driver is by the crew lock bag, if you want to stow the hex driver on the pit pin red in the crew lock bag, in the meantime, now would be a good time to do that.
Okay. Perfect time. Ready for it? Yep. Thank you.
A lot of progress made so far during today's spacewalk. Just an hour and 43 minutes in, the adapter plate and the new lithium-ion battery are installed onto the International Space Station's truss. Bob Benkin just working on making some of those final connections. Cassidy has already cleaned up his work site at the external pallet. Doug Hurley on the inside of the station is working the station's robotic arm and actually maneuvering that pallet away from the work site, no longer needed for the rest of today's spacewalk. Some cleanup activities for this 1B channel, and of course the connections need to be made to finalize the upgrades to that 1B channel. 3 new lithium-ion batteries with adapter plates installed.
And that PGT is eventually going to go back on Bob's swing arm once he's done with the adapter plate connectors.
Again, an hour and 44 minutes into today's spacewalk, already making good progress and nearing completion of the 1B channel.
You can get this gap spanner on this side.
Yep, you can go ahead and work the gap spanners.
Okay, good EMI band and pins, and on both sides, cable and the jack are both verified.
Copy. Your go to mate P4 to J4. And just make sure that gap spanner is clear and board away.
Copy. The gap spanner is well clear.
Copy.
Okay, P4 to J4 is mated.
Copy, Bob. And levers over center, you can then connect that connector cap back onto J4, and the 3 TA clamps will need to be closed on this one.
Okay, copy. Okay, all 3 TA clamps are closed.
Copy, Bob. And Bob, did you already install that connector cap on J4?
Not yet.
Copy.
I'm right there at the location now. Okay, the connector cap is on J4.
Copy, Bob. With that, you can head back to the crew lock bag to retrieve your PGT. And you're going to stow that on your swing arm, and just please let us know what tethers are on it.
And Chris, can you have a look at my safety tether?
Yeah, let's see. So I'm over the top of you. It's clear from your feet, from your hip, and then,
okay.
So I might need to go inboard to you for you to deconflict.
See, what I'm going to do is just rotate this way, come in here, and let's see, you've collected that gap spanner?
Yeah, I got the gap spanner.
Okay. I might as well get a...
Why don't I just get on the inboard side of you?
Okay.
Now's a good time for me to do that. If you agree.
Seems okay to me.
Okay. And then I'll deconflict.
I'll collect the scoops off of the ECU here.
Okay.
Copy.
There we go, Bubba. Deep split it.
Okay.
So, didn't get any pictures yet.
Okay. Sun is up though. That's good.
Yeah.
And Chris, when you do take those photos, if you can get pictures of those bumper guides as well that you guys think the black smudging might be coming from, that would be helpful.
Okay. Let's see. Any way you can rotate your feet a little bit this way?
Board or outboard?
Yeah. But outboard. That way.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry. No problem. And trying to figure out where's a good place for me to come up.
I'm about to have these scoops.
And then you'll move left?
And then I'll be going to the crew lock bag.
Okay. I'll just hang out right here. Jasmine, I'm going to pick up the GoPro.
Say again, Chris?
I'm going to pick up the GoPro camera.
Okay, copy.
This is Mission Control Houston. 1 hour, 53 minutes into today's spacewalk. Bob Benkin and Chris Cassidy are just wrapping up their work on the 1B power channel, successfully installing the new lithium-ion battery and the new adapter plate and removing a nickel-hydrogen battery and making all the necessary connections. Now just working on some closeout procedures, gathering all of their handling aids and cordless power drills and all of the other equipment that they used for these procedures, cleaning up and taking some photos of the work site, making sure everything went according to plan. The agenda is to continue to clean up this work site, and they'll actually get a jump start on the 3B power channel. They won't be swapping out some batteries quite yet. There's still some work from the ground to configure the batteries for removal and to start that channel. But they'll install some of the handling aids that you see in the view right now from the helmet camera of Bob Benkin. They'll break some torque on some of the batteries and just really get a jump start on some of the work that's coming up later this month to upgrade the final power channel of the International Space Station.
Hey guys, and I've got the 2 scoops returned to the crew lock bag that were on the VCSU.
Copy, Bob.
Looks like there's one more down there.
A-firm, there should be one more on battery 6, H2.
I can get it. I'm right here.
And I believe there's still one more gap spanner deployed.
Correct.
Okay, I've retrieved my PGT, and I have 2 rets in series, as well as an adjustable tether on that PGT.
Copy, Bob. And Bob will take glove, hap, and gauntlet check on you.
This is Mission Control Houston. In another handover of some of that video and audio from station through the tracking and data relay satellites. This is a live view of the International Space Station Flight Control Room. The teams here leading Chris Cassidy and Bob Behnken through the procedures of the spacewalk today. Flight director there in the gray suit is Royce Renfrew, leading the Orbit 2 teams today. In the back right there, Jackie Kagi, the spacewalk officer, knowing those procedures backwards and forwards. And that voice you're hearing to the crew is Jasmine Mogbelli. It goes by call sign Jaws over there on the left of your screen.
Both of my gloves are still SBs.
Copy. Okay, so remaining task is that inboard gap spanner chain, the scoop on battery 6H2, and then verifying that PVR pit pin engagement.
You can see the pit pin right here. Engaged.
Be engaged.
I'll get it when I leave.
Ready. And then, can I give you the gap spanner?
Yeah.
The first one?
One by one.
Okay.
Gotta find a ret in this bag.
So many that there's none.
Some of the tools you're seeing here from the helmet camera of Bob Behnken. He's working on putting away some of the equipment he used for the upgrades of the 1B channel. Some of them include scoops. These are those silver handling aids that you see sort of sticking out of the bag, as well as the jumbled cables. Those are called gap spanners. You can connect them across the integrated truss and make it a little bit easier to get from one side to the other, making translation or the movement from one side to the other a little bit easier.
Sure. Thanks, coming on.
Floating there in the background is the you can see that white box with a black circle that is the still photography, the DSLR camera that they use to take some of the closeout photos of their work site after they've completed the upgrades to the 1B channel. Again, Behnken and Cassidy cleaning up their work site, getting ready to go over to the 3B channel and get a head start on some of the tasks there.
6H2.
Yes. It's in the bag.
Copy. Yeah, A-firm, the only thing I have remaining is that remaining gap spanner. And then if you guys can just check we're clear of tools and tethers and take those closeout photos.
Does it make sense for me to collect this trash bag at this time?
Checking. Bob, you don't need it at this time. We were planning to get the one from the ORU bag prior to the H fixture.
Okay. Do I have to get anything else out of the ORU bag prior to H fixture?
Negative, just the contingency tools, Bob. So if you'd rather take that trash bag now, you can.
Okay. I've retrieved the trash bag. It's on my mini workstation.
Copy.
Going to pick up that gap spanner, Chris, or should I plan to get it here in a second?
If you can take the pictures on the outboard side, I can get this gap spanner. Does that work?
This is Mission Control Houston. As Cassidy and Bankin continue to gather their tools, clean up the work side of the 1B channel, we did get confirmation.
EVA limiting consumable is Medox on Chris at 6:45, and you're approximately 25 minutes ahead.
Okay, cut.
To get the pictures, I have to leave the crew lock bag here, so maybe it's,
You want me to?
if you could just release the end of that, you just release the end of that.
I will.
Gap spanner, and then I'll take it.
Okay.
So as Cassidy and Bankin continue to clean up the work site, we did get confirmation that there is a good checkout of that final lithium-ion battery. The 1B channel on the starboard 6 truss is up and running, completed.
Outboard.
And so big picture for both of you. Once you finish that gap spanner and the closeout photos, Chris, you'll be heading back to the ORU bag with the camera and GoPro, and we'll take an inventory. And then, Bob, you'll be taking that crew lock bag and bundling it to the APFR.
Okay. Comes the, and you ready for me to release this end?
I am ready for you to release that end.
Bingo. The camera's up there by you, right?
It is, huh?
Okay. I'm in your way. ready for the camera. I have it. Ready, you can release the red.
Okay. You have the camera.
I have the camera. And I have both cameras. Now, half of the IEA with GoPro, and I'll start the digital camera survey right now.
Copy, Chris.
Okay, Jasmine, I've got inventory for the Kulak bag. I've got a ret to a gap spanner chain with a wire tie. A second ret to a gap spanner chain with a wire tie. A third gap spanner chain with a wire tie on an integral ret. I've got a adjustable, an integral ret with 2 scoops. I've got a additional ret with a gap spanner chain and a wire tie that's integrated. I've got a ret with a pit pin with a 9-inch hex extension. I've got a long duration tie-down tether with an integral ret. It is attached to the, not an integral ret, but to one of the D rings inside the Kulak bag. I've got a ratchet wrench with a palm wheel and a 6-inch wobble socket with 2 rets. Got an additional adjustable attached to one of the integral rets, and then another integral ret attached to an adjustable, and that one has 2 scoops on it. That's the interior contents.
Good config for the inside of the Kulak bag.
I'm having the same issue with the button, Jasmine. I can't tell if I'm actually getting pictures, but I have confirmed that every 30 seconds the green light comes on.
Copy, Chris.
Again, Benkin and Cassidy continue to clean up the 1B worksite. The 1B channel is outfitted with 3 new lithium-ion batteries, all up and running. 1B channel really complete at this point. From the rest of the Spacewalk on will be a lot of prep work for future spacewalks, including getting a little bit of work done ahead of time before the work on the 3B channel on the other side of the SS, as well as a lot of get-aheads that have been on the to-do list.
Copy, Chris. We'll take the GoPro photos.
While they're continuing to clean up their work site, we'll take a few questions using the hashtag AskNASA. Please ask away throughout the duration of today's spacewalk. This first one comes from Francisco, asking how long the spacewalk will take overall. The majority of the tasks have already been completed for the upgrades to the 1B channel. Again, fully up and running. A lot of get-ahead tasks. Spacewalks are usually scheduled for about 6.5 hours, really scheduled around the time for limiting consumables such as carbon dioxide scrubbing. So ballpark will be around that time frame. Another question from Steven, who's asking what happens to the old nickel hydrogen battery. That old nickel hydrogen battery is on the external pallet. We still need to complete the 3B channel. A lot of the old batteries from that side will go also onto the external pallet. That external pallet for HTV-9 will eventually be jettisoned from the space station to eventually burn up in the atmosphere. The HTV-8 pallet will be returned by the HTV-9 vehicle for disposal in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm going to go down, trying to get the few pictures.
Yeah, just the battery 1, 2 area. A lot of stuff in that bag.
Yeah. I'm finally ready to get out of your way.
No problem.
And Bob, when you get a chance, we've lost your WVS. If you can check the button.
If it's okay, I'll check it at the APFR. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Hey, Charles, I think there's a green light. It's hard to see in the sunlight.
Hey, Firm, we've got your WVS back. Thanks, Bob.
I think it was on. I just cycled it. I don't know.
Copy.
In the background, you can see Chris Cassidy with camera in hand as Ben can continue some of the cleanup work on the 1B channel. Again, the 1B channel fully outfitted with 3 new lithium-ion batteries up and running. Benkin and Cassidy completed the work for that channel. Now the rest of the spacewalk will be dedicated to much of the get-ahead tasks that were originally scheduled between these 2 spacewalks.
With that, you can bring that camera with you. I believe you've already got the GoPro, and take those back to the ORU bag, stow them, and then we'll take an inventory of the ORU bag.
Bill.
And Chris, if you want to keep either the camera or GoPro on you by stowing them in the ORU bag, that's an option as well.
Okay, copy that.
Hey, Doug, I've got the crew lock bag bundled to the APFR.
Bob, I'm going to shoot that gap between these.
Okay.
Copy, Bob. And with that, you can retrieve that APFR bundle, and you'll be translating to 3 Bravo. Let me know if you want the step-by-step directions.
Okay. Yeah, collect it up, and then I'll check with you about my routes.
Copy.
How are my feet? My feet are doing okay, Bob?
Yep, your feet are doing okay.
With that, the work at the 1B channel is complete. Cassidy and Benkin will now make their way to the other side of the S6 truss. You see Cassidy in the suit with the red stripes already making his way down.
I'm inboard of Bob, and I'm heading to the ORU bag.
Copy, Chris.
The wave.
Away from Benkin, 260 statute miles over the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. As Cassidy and Benkin continue to clean up here and move on to their next task at the 3B channel, breaking torque on some bolts and installing some handling aids in preparation for the work to be done later this month. Continue to ask questions to us using the hashtag AskNASA. We have one from Micah who's asking, when changing batteries, what are some parts of the International Space Station that are turned off? As you can imagine, there are quite a few nearing the solar arrays. The solar arrays themselves are always angled towards the sun, but are turned off for this spacewalk. Also, the thrusters on the outside are disabled for the duration of the spacewalk.
Desmond, let me know when you're ready.
We're ready, Bob, as long as you're good for a pause and comms.
I am good for a pause and calm.
Okay, Chris, go ahead.
On the outside of the bag, there's a round scoop, normal, and a large, small adjustable.
Copy, sounds good for the external config.
Going in. Inside of the bag, there's tip inlet and a regular ret on standby for the H fixture with nothing on them.
Copy.
There is a trash bag with that has a ret and an adjustable.
Copy.
That's the extra adjustable. Extra adjustable. There is a ret connected to an adjustable tether that has two items, a tube puller and a pry bar.
Copy.
There's a ratchet wrench that has a palm wheel, a 9-inch 7/16 X driver, and two rets in series.
Copy.
A PGT with a 9-inch hex driver, adjustable on one side, and two rets in series on the other side.
Okay. Copy, and good battery on that?
There is a battery, and the position of the on-off switch is off.
Okay, Chris, that sounds like a good config, just other than the camera and GoPro that are on you.
All right, do that in a second.
And Bob, looks like you're on the go. You're headed to WIF 29 on the 3 Bravo side.
Copy with 29 on the 3 Bravo side.
The camera has a ret and an L bracket assembly. That's with me still.
Copy.
And the GoPro